All right. Okay, so we're back after like 2 weeks, and we got some new equipment. Quality's up, man. We're kicking. Now, to the five of you watching this video, you're gonna be asking, Rayon, where's the med school stuff? Where's the vlog? This is another video you yapping. I wanted to make this video just because it was something I've been wanting to yap about to a camera for a very long time. And I think it is very adjacent to my medical journey. So let me just explain. To me, the word empathy, I know the dictionary definition is like basically putting yourself in someone's shoes, or, I'll just put it up on the screen. But for me, it's helping others to feel seen and heard. One of the main reasons that I want to be a doctor is because the diagnosis process is so interesting to me, and my mind works so quick that it's something that I want to be really good at. But the reason on top of that is because I just really want to make patients feel safe. For anyone who knows me, I'm someone who talks a lot with like very little breaks. To do that with patients and make them feel safe, and like I'm someone who they can tell anything to, but also someone who can provide them with the medical treatment that they need, is just like the ideal career for me, which is why I'm in it. And I bring this up not because I feel like I'm an expert in empathy, but more so because I feel like on top of my religion, this is what drives a lot of my life philosophy and how I approach speaking to other people. So when I say empathy is a lost art, I'm not saying that people aren't empathetic and that only like 3 empathetic people exist in real life. What I'm saying is that I believe that empathy is like a skill that people have inside of themselves, and it's something that everyone can access to not only make themselves better at conversating, to make themselves better at connecting, but just make themselves more human. So, like I said, empathy to me is to make others feel seen and heard. And rather than just like continuing to yap, I think it's best that I give you like 3 ways that you can improve your manners of being an empathetic person. So the first thing I'd say is to maximize the amount of respect you give other people. Now, there's this whole debate, and we had this talk in our first week of medical school about whether or not respect should be earned. That's a whole separate conversation in itself. By default, you meet someone and you know nothing about them. I believe that that person deserves to be treated with respect. So what does it mean to maximize the amount of respect you give someone? That means to look at them when they speak, to not be on your phone when you talk to them, to give them your attention, turn your body towards them, look them in the eyes, joke around with them. That's what it means to give people respect, to make them feel like even though you've just met them, that they're someone you've known for lifetimes. The second thing I want to say is to remember what makes you feel bad. So this comes in a lot of shapes and sizes, but I'll bring up 2 things that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. One is that when I was in undergrad, it took me a very long time to find someone in the pre-med circle who could give me good advice that was helpful and be on top of things. One that a lot more people can relate to, and it's when you do a group project and no one contributes except you. Rather than just seeing that and holding disdain and malice and wanting to take it out on someone or something, you need to be the change that you want to see. For instance, when it came to mentoring people, it took me a long time to find someone who was a good mentor for me, and I found 2 really great mentors. But when I would mentor other people, I would give them my full attention. I try to reply as fast as possible, and I try to give them detailed advice, especially things that I wish I knew when I was younger. When it comes to group projects, if you feel like you're the only one pulling your weight, it's not a solution to just throw it and just complain. You can do that in your mind, but at the end of the day, you need to just be the best person that you can be and just put in forth what you would want to see out of your group members. If you wanted everyone to contribute in a really meaningful way, just do that yourself. Put in that kind of effort, and I'm sure people will either follow in your example or just acknowledge what you're doing and put in the same amount of effort. The last thing I want to bring up, and this is very specific, and I won't go into the details because I don't want people to catch on to me doing this in real conversations. But when you're speaking to someone and you realize that they're good at talking to people and they do a slight thing that makes you really respect them and feel appreciated, pick up on that. It's about adapting and adding things to your arsenal. Like, dude, in any like anime or TV show, my favorite ability is copy, and I can't like do that, right? But like, this is the closest thing I got, right? When I see people speaking to me in a way that makes me feel really appreciated, I add it to my bag of things that I can do when I speak to other people. Okay, I won't say all my examples, but one example is someone I know, whenever they'd see someone get cut off by someone else when they were in the middle of their discussion, would always hold on and circle back to that person and say, "You were saying?" So that's something that I started to do because I thought that was it just made me feel so welcome and like I was appreciated, you know. And this all circles back to what I initially said. When you make people feel seen and heard, you make them feel appreciated. And that's your best way of making connections and just making lifelong friends, I'd say. Now, what I will say about being empathetic is it might not be the most rewarding thing. It might be the case where you're the only one giving people that respect that they deserve. And meanwhile, you're either not getting that same energy back or you're getting an opposite energy that makes you feel even worse. The thing you need to realize about being empathetic and just being a good person in general is it's not about recognition. It's not about appreciation. And I had to learn that the hard way. You want to be empathetic, not for brownie points, not to be the best person in the room, but because it's human. And I truly believe that when you make people feel seen and heard, that's like the peak of humanity, when you can just connect with the randomest person. So I hope this was very understandable. And I tried to make these like examples concrete and things that you can actually apply to your life. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll reply to them. I have nothing else to do. If you like this type of video, I don't know. This is like my main like philosophy about talking to others. So that's why I felt like I could make a good video out of it. But if this is like a style of video y'all want to see more of, I'm definitely down to put more things out. But the medical school vlog, the week 1 or exam vlog, I still don't know which one I want to make. That's coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe and notification.